Thanks for staying with us. So last Saturday, June 14th, was the world celebrated World Blood Donor Day, a global event recognizing the life-saving contributions of blood donors worldwide. The theme of this year's anniversary was Give Blood, Give Hope, Together We Save Lives, with highlighting the importance of voluntary blood donation in ensuring a stable blood supply for the patients in need. Joining us in the studio to discuss this is Executive Secretary, Lagos State Blood Transfusion Service, Dr. Biodu Oshikomaya. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
You know, you've come here several times, and year in, year out, you tell us about this. So tell us, how we're doing with blood donation.
We still are not doing very fine, really. Until everybody becomes a voluntary blood donor, we'll continue to say that you should donate. But I'm sure you still hear news of lack of blood or people trying to tout blood or commercial donors. So we still are not doing very, very fine. And it's not just Lagos. I think it's a global thing. In recent times, if you check all your social media handles, there's always one story about shortage or the other. So I think it's a global issue, not just in Lagos State or Nigeria.
Yeah, so I think we also need to give out more information. A few months ago, we had this conversation. I was like, till today, I don't even know where they used to go and give the blood if I choose to. I don't know where to get in to get tested and all of that. But there are some myths that some people have about blood donation, why they don't really come out to donate blood. Can you help us share some of those myths and find a way to debunk them?
So you've asked me two questions. So the first one is, where can you donate blood? Because blood is a very technical and sensitive thing. You can't just give blood anywhere. So you can donate blood in any of the state's hospitals. That is the general hospitals or the teaching hospitals. You can also go to the federal healthcare centers like LUT, that's Lagos University Teaching Hospital, National Orthopedic Hospital at Igbobi, the federal medical centers at Ekpe and Epitemeta, as well as the military hospitals, naval hospitals. So the public facilities are the first point of call if you want to give blood. You can also go to any of the Lagos State Blood Transfusion Service voluntary blood donation centers. We have one at Bakala General Hospital. It is beautiful. You need to go there. You've been there before.
Yes,
it's getting better. You need to see the things that are happening there too.
They pamper you too. You could
no, it's really a really nice experience when you go to the voluntary blood donation centers compared to when you go to the hospitals to give blood. And then you could go to some private hospitals now, and people don't want to go to places where they don't feel comfortable. You know, most public hospitals, there's a large crowd, and there's sometimes can complain of the smell of the people there. So they're beginning to request to go to the private hospitals. So if you go to any of the big private hospitals, just ask for the Lagos State Blood Transfusion Service logo. That is a sign that they have been licensed. It also means that they've been trained and they have the appropriate equipment to donate blood. So with respect to the myths, oh God, there are so many very funny ones. For example, blood donation can shorten life. Yes, all those myths and cultural false disbeliefs actually stem from an experience somebody has had. Maybe somebody gave blood and something happened. For whatever reason, people just begin to talk about it and relate that bad experience to the blood donation. So really, there is no relationship between giving blood and
dying young.
Yes, because actually blood donation makes you healthy, and then it actually makes you live better, because of studies that have shown that you could have a less risk of cancers, you could have a less risk of having cardiac conditions and strokes. So really, that's one of them. Another one is if you donate blood is related to infertility or
not at all.
Not at all.
Let me ask you this question about because we will assume everybody knows the advantage of blood donation, but really some people are watching and wondering, why should I voluntarily walk in to donate blood? Of what benefit is it? So you've mentioned a bit of benefits to the person donating, but what's the advantage? Why are we clamoring for more blood donations?
So the first is we need to save lives, and blood cannot be produced in any company, it cannot be manufactured, and you can't grow blood. There are so many studies being done, and yet we've not been able to do that. So the first thing is that you are saving lives. People that do not have any alternative to remain alive. And that's the first thing. And subsequently, you can do some tests. You can have free health checks. You can have your tests done without paying out of pocket, especially now that it's so expensive to do anything. You could also have, you can have an exposure of underlying illnesses. You know, you're going to answer a lot of questions. You know, those questions could be so frustrating, but really, each one is important because it will help you to uncover or reveal any underlying health conditions that you have. And then there are studies that shows that if you donate blood regularly, you have a very good mental state. In Lagos, see the traffic, everything. You need something to keep you in a very good mental state.
Your blood is not enough.
How often? How often should you give blood?
Every 3 to 4 months, you could give blood.
Oh, wow.
Every 3 to 4 months. And he said, if your blood is not enough.
Yeah.
Yes, so many of us, I'm sure all of us here, one of us will not have enough blood.
It's possible, right?
Yes, it's possible
Yeah.
because, so when you give blood, you give blood that is extra.
Okay.
You have
So they will
enough.
run a test.
You run a
and
test.
then tell you have enough
yes,
to
you
give.
have to give someone else. But there are times when you don't have enough blood, and that's one of the advantages
Of getting to
get those tests done. So if it's not enough, if it's not too bad, if it's just mild, we talk about dietary changes. Eat vegetables, take a lot of
Drink ugu,
fruits,
squeeze dugu.
take a wedu and things like that. Before we now go on for you to see the doctor if it is still not working. So you might get a referral if it's really bad to see a doctor.
So now that the campaign is on, is there a particular theme or a message you're sending out there to Nigerians, especially in this time?
Yeah, we have the global message that says that give blood, give hope, together we save lives. And at the blood transfusion service, we have added an extra, and that is give blood, but volunteer early. So we want our children to begin to volunteer. Look, join the brownie, help the old people. Because the truth is that we have this culture of not donating blood. And the culture started from child because you always expect somebody to give you back for whatever you've done. So if you learn to volunteer, by the time you're eligible to donate blood, nobody will need to talk so much. You know, donate blood, it becomes a part of you already. So we need to encourage our parents, to encourage our children, and to encourage teachers and schools to teach our children how to volunteer.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bodunrin, Shikomaya, for helping us understand, because we bring you every year. We're hoping that this year you tell us, Mariel, the numbers have increased, you have more people.
Yes, the numbers are increasing, but our target is 100%. We're not going less than that. 100.
And where are you now?
13.
What?
Yes.
Onoshiji.
Onoshiji, yes, it's 13.
Very shocking.
That's just Lagos, so.
That's just Lagos is actually the highest so far globally, as in worldwide, in Nigeria. I mean, it's much lower than that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's sad.
So you see that I'll continue to say it until we get to that 100%.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.